Okay, so we're about to drop into the second encounter in tunnels, and I will show you the easiest way through it, and then we'll go back and talk about some other possibilities. There are 2 runners and 2 shamblers here. You do not need to kill the shamblers. And in fact, killing the shamblers might be kind of pointless, might be a waste of your resources because there's no loot here. So as soon as we get in here, we drop down, we crouch to here, then we go prone, and we go around the corner.
They get you?
The dialogue that you're hearing is actually a bug because I have faster prone. It happens when you do this movement. This should be dialogue that you hear at the end of this encounter. So I'm waiting for that runner to come. He'll stand in the doorway. We're going to go grab him. I'm going to pull him 1 second to the right just to clear the route for Dina. Dina will come take that runner out. But even if she doesn't, it really doesn't matter. With that runner gone, we can simply go for the door and get out. This will alert the shamblers. However, it doesn't really matter because as soon as the door animation finishes and the triangle disappears, you're safe. It just goes into a fixed animation and that's it. So that's the easiest way to go through here. Now, one additional thing you might want to know about this area, even though it's very easy to get through with no particular issues, this little box thing is actually a place where the infected cannot get up on. So watch this. We can just hang out here. They know we're here. They're alerted. Shamblers might even blow up. But see, the enemies cannot get up onto this area. Now we are taking some acid damage here. So it's not a perfect strat. See, that's the danger to it. But if you need a spot where you're not going to get grabbed, this is something you can do. Now, obviously, I just sort of stood there to demonstrate it. Okay, we're about to drop into the third encounter in tunnels. And there are 3 runners and 2 shamblers in here. There are ways of getting through without killing anybody, but they do require slightly more precise movement. The path through here that I'm going to recommend you do kills all of the runners, and there are a couple of reasons for doing this. 2 of them are directly on your way out, and the third one, which is actually the first of the ones that we're going to kill, by killing him, it actually makes the timing for the next one work out properly. Then the final reason for killing these runners, apart from just they're in your way, is should anything go wrong, it's much easier just to hide from 2 shamblers rather than a whole bunch of runners. What we're going to do is we're going to jump in here and immediately hop up here and crouch and go forward. We can't afford to delay here. As you go down the stairs, hug the right side because this runner is coming right out. As long as you're on the right side, the runner won't see you. We want to grab the runner before they go down into the water there. And then once you're done with that kill, we're heading for this window and we're going to hop in here. Now, if you skip that runner and just immediately go there and hop in, that runner will be right in your way and will see you hop in. I'm positioning myself right here in this little crack. The runner is going to come through here. I'm spamming triangle, and then LA will just automatically grab him, and we have him. If you want, you can put yourself right next to, right here to grab him, but it's not necessary. Then we're going to go forward. Here's the third runner right here. Grab her. Kill her. And then we can just leave. No need to deal with the other two shamblers. As was the case in Tunnels 2, there's no loot here. So no real reason to kill everybody. And we're out. And notice, even though we killed all the runners, this sound still plays like the runners are alive.
Ellie, your mask.
We're about to do what's called Tunnels 4. It's the last encounter in Tunnels, and in some ways it's the easiest. However, this is a very glitchy encounter, especially on PS5. There are many ways that this can go wrong. However, the biggest problem is getting up the first flight of stairs. You must kill the runner that grabs Dina. If you run past it, Dina will die. So some way or another, you have to kill the runner. Now, I'm going to demonstrate it the way the game probably intends you to do it, which is just melee strike the runner if you have an axe or something to kill it. This often, but not always, works. I'll run through it and explain some of the variations you're likely to see, and then I'll give you my preferred way of minimizing the chances of a glitch happening. If you're going to do a melee kill, you need to skip the cinematic. So we're going to wait just a minute, not a minute, just a moment, let Dina get grabbed, and then we're up. Now, notice Dina is taking her time. This is where you get into trouble, okay? So, in that scenario, what happened was the runner was the first one up the stairs, which was actually kind of fortunate because we took a slap, we didn't get killed. Dina was taking her sweet time getting up the stairs. And in fact, if you run into Dina, that in fact slows her down even more. If the clicker is right behind you in that scenario, you are going to get grabbed and you're going to die. And it's just a really annoying thing. And this seems to happen on PS5 60 FPS far more than it does on either the PS4 or the PS5 30. So if you're finding yourself stuck on this and you're playing on the PS5, then maybe you want to lower it down to 30 FPS. That is one possible solution. So we're going to do it a few other ways. Let me show you some other things that you might be inclined to try.
Fucking go! Go!
If we use a brick, we can actually get past Dina. If we can get past Dina like that, we're safe. However, that's not necessarily 100% reliable, because if you don't get past Dina, Dina won't run up the stairs quickly. You'll get caught by the clicker. So while that is a very speedy way to do it, it's dangerous. The same thing applies if you try to use a weapon for this. Like, we can do that. You see how Dina's stuck here? Let me go into photo mode and see who's behind us. Okay, so in this case, we're going to make it up because the clicker is a good distance behind us. But it's definitely a scary scenario there. The reason why we're seeing this kind of variation is that there's actually some difference in how the infected are positioned. So you can see here, the clicker is in the lead. That's normally the case. Then there's 2 runners behind it, and then a second clicker all the way in the back. Now, these 4 can shuffle their order, right? Every once in a while, the runner is first. The clicker is usually the first one. Every once in a while, you'll get 2 clickers. And how far behind you they are will also vary. So the dangerous scenario, and you can't really, as far as I know, there's nothing you can do to control the RNG that causes this, is when the clicker is very, very close to you as you're running up the stairs. This is the scenario, if Dina is getting in your way, this is the scenario where you're likely going to die. Also, if you're slow here, a runner at the top of the escalator can block your path. And even if he doesn't grab you, he can slow you down for long enough for the clicker to grab you. So there's all kinds of ways that you can get interfered with in this and have things go wrong. The way that I have found to be most reliable, I want to emphasize it's not perfect, but the most reliable way to avoid these kind of problems is we're going to feed the runner that grabs Dina to the clicker. And this is a very cute game mechanic where if you are holding a runner and a clicker is charging at you and you put the runner in between you and the clicker, instead of grabbing you, the clicker will grab the runner and start eating the runner in a frenzy. And this will give us time to run away. That stops the clicker that's chasing you, and up the escalator you go. In that scenario, also, Dina never seems to hesitate running up the escalator, so she's not blocking your path. So let me demonstrate it, and then I'll talk about the ways that it could, in theory, go wrong. So what we're going to do is, again, we're going to hesitate. We're going to let Dina get grabbed. We're going to run up on this right side. We're going to turn, and there. Okay, I'll go into photo mode so you can see what's happening. Right, you can see the clicker there has grabbed the runner. It's a little bit dark, but you can get the basic idea. The clicker has grabbed this runner and is feeding on it. And the other runners, 2 runners and the clicker are far enough behind that they are not going to get in the way. Okay. So again, what I did there is I waited a beat so that Dina could get grabbed. I approached on the right side, sort of facing the clicker. You want to make sure you don't go too far. You don't want to be behind Dina because then it won't give you the grab. You have to be directly facing that runner. And the reason why I'm coming at it on the right side is I don't want to have to turn as far in order to feed that runner to the clicker, because the turn is very slow. So for example, if I'm like here, if I grab him this way, it takes a long time to turn. Now I still managed to get the turn off, but it took a while, and if the clicker had been closer, it might have been a closer run thing. We're going to see if we can get a fail. If I go all the way on this side of Dina, now I'm not getting it, right? Okay? So you see what happened there. That is a way that I deliberately messed that up to show you. I went totally behind Dina so that I couldn't get the grab initially. And then when I slid around, I managed to eventually grab the runner, but I didn't have time to spin. So the clicker just came up behind me. The runner wasn't in between me and the clicker, and therefore Ellie died. So that would be one way to fail this. People have claimed to be spamming triangle and not still get the grab, but I've never found it not to work if you are squarely facing the runner. The one issue that I have had once or twice is after feeding the clicker, the camera can sometimes lock on so that you're forced to watch that event. And that can be a real problem because it means you can't turn to run up the escalator. If that happens, what I do is I do a quick turn, which means pull back on your left joystick and hit X. And that should get you facing more or less in the direction of the escalator. And then just try to get up it the best you can. I've not found a perfect way to avoid it. And I'm not also 100% sure if there's a single thing that causes it. It does seem to be more likely to happen when you have to hold the clicker for when you have to hold the runner for a long time.
Fucking go!
So that's another reason to sort of wait a beat before you pick it up. You don't, if you grab too early.
Ellie!
Okay, so now there. The camera locked. The camera locked on me. I had to do a quick turn.
This way! Hurry! Fuck! Go right! Come on!
Now, to avoid getting slapped here, dodge out of that animation when you cross over things. Also, even though there are those runners that kind of get in your way, you do not need to melee them. You can simply run past them and you're just go for the triangle at the gate so that you can get out. As soon as you hit that triangle, it goes into that exit gate animation and then you're done.